It's a good thing we have Ron Amadio here because we've been talking a lot about Google and its intent to kind of double down on virtual reality. And the Financial Times has a report that seems to further illustrate that Google is in fact going to move forward on virtual reality in a big way. Ron, you wrote about this on Ars Technica. What's the story here?
Basically, Google's going to build a version of the Samsung Gear VR, kind of. That's pretty much the easiest way to say it. Like imagine cardboard but plastic, and with a head strap and good, instead of the cheap little $10 cardboard thing that they have right now. Cardboard has always kind of been the tip of the iceberg for Google, and this plastic version is going to be the next step, I guess. They called it the successor to cardboard, where we're going to see finally a decent headset that you can wear for a good amount of time, and it's going to have better lenses and sensors in it to kind of track your head better than just the regular cell phone can. And it's going to support more phones than just the Samsung devices that fit in a Gear VR, which is going to be kind of tricky because how can you make a headset where every Android phone in the world snaps into it in like a nice way?
Yeah, like I think of some of those car dash mounts for phones where they kind of retract and then you put the phone in.
Yeah, they do that for tripods as well.
Yeah.
There actually is a VR headset that I used at CES that allows pretty much any phone that can just fit into the little
Did it do it
clamp.
elegantly?
Yeah, well,
It did it elegantly, yeah. But the thing is, it doesn't have the extra stuff that Ron was talking about, which is
Kind of the improved sensor.
the added, sensors and. Did you mention? I'm sorry. Did you mention anything about audio? I'm wondering if there was any mention.
No, they didn't say anything about headphones or any of that.
I think
Google
it'd be
did
cool
buy
to have
a
like
company for VR audio.
Well, I was just thinking it'd be cool to have like little speakers embedded in there to have like some extra little.
Oh, yeah.
I think
That'd be nice.
there's a concern about that, about being totally immersed, and you still need to be somewhat connected to the outside world. And
No.
And it's funny because you don't want to be that guy.
Wow.
So I got my niece the Viewmaster VR one,
Yeah.
and she has an old Moto G, and turns out actually it doesn't work with her phone, but her phone did fit in. It was more of a software issue, so we need to get her a new phone, and then she'll be able to use it. But I was surprised that when you opened up the Viewmaster, there was like that little springy kind of thing where you could adjust the size, and it said it could fit her tiny little phone, and it fit all the way up to a Nexus 6P, like the big old phone. So they can do that, but I will say that holding the goggles to your head after a while gets so tiring.
Yeah, your arm gets tired.
Exactly. So the strap is a big kind of thing. My question, and Ron, I don't know if you touched on this or if you talked to anybody who knows this. Cardboard launched like 2 years ago, right, at I/O?
Yeah.
Hasn't it been 2 years?
Yeah, it's been 2 years.
Yeah. It's been a while.
I feel like this is like, why did it take so long for this? Like, I feel like Cardboard was already a success 6 months after it came out.
Oh, I think Cardboard started on day one of Google's VR thing. Like, we can make this, and then developers started making software for it, and I think Google started making software for it at the same time. And part of this report says that they're going to have some kind of software package that goes with this, and I think that's what the delay has been for, really, that they really have nothing to do with this, with a VR device like this yet. It says it's going to build VR software directly into the operating system rather than relying on only a traditional app, which we've kind of heard about from the Wall Street Journal, where they said that the Android team was going to make some kind of VR operating system so that you don't have to jump in and out like you do today, or jump into some weird little secondary display, which would be kind of interesting because, software has always been Google's strength, kind of, and they're going to have this headset with some kind of crazy software in it. I think the software will be what's important, really, but we know nothing about that. So,
Ron, last year at Google I/O, when I was Ron's, actually, maybe I should say, last year at Google I/O, when I was frantically late to the keynote,
Were you really?
Dashing through, I got hung up on traffic. I only really missed like 10 minutes, but you can live stream it, so it's not like I missed anything.
Yeah.
As I was running up to the room where it was being held, I passed by the cardboard booth, and I saw, and I swear I saw this, a bunch of hardware VR viewers. And my thought then was, this is the year that Google's taking Cardboard, which was the start of their VR efforts, and really kind of going full, 100% on it. And all right, let's be serious. Here's your actual viewer, that you can take seriously and all that kind of stuff. So I like you were saying, Ron, like I expected this last year, and I swear I swore it was going to happen when I saw that, and then it totally didn't, and it's still kind of the Cardboard.
But they didn't
thing
do
we
nothing last year. I mean, they announced a lot more education initiatives, which
and Jump VR,
which I think is actually pretty great that they did that. It's a good implementation for Cardboard.
And the GoPro support and all that crazy stuff. Yeah. So and they announced the YouTube support. Like I feel like they've been slowly putting these pieces in place, and maybe now it's leading all to this to do like an official Google VR launch.
Yeah,
and they probably
Google's fine doing like a slow burn like that. They don't mind, slowly building up to something useful.
Yeah.
But we've seen them build the team for this, like publicly.
We've been watching it for years now.
And they have. I've said this a couple of times, but they have like crazy heavy hitters leave their position inside Google to go join the Google VR team. There's been John Wiley, head of Google Search, like a product that reaches millions and millions of people every day. And he left that to go work on the VR team. And Alex Faborg, the former lead designer for Firefox, another guy who's used to just this crazy scale, left to go work on the VR team. And they have an official virtual reality division now, and they're building something. And all we see on the outside is Cardboard, but there's going to be way more to all this eventually.
Yeah, I think it's interesting when you think of VR at the platform level, not just, and your phone can view VR, but I mean, I can almost envision like if they actually are building VR into Android, the platform, it kind of being the thing where, kind of like connecting to Bluetooth to your car and that launches a certain set of actions. You drop this into a viewer and now your Android experience is kind of in this virtual
wonder
world.
If Project Tango is basically going to be the delivery system for that, because I don't think this is what you're talking about is not something I think everybody wants implemented into their phone. And I could see this being like a special case where you can get like this very powerful phone. Go ahead, Ron.
It could be a package that just goes into the phone if you're going to do VR. It becomes an option. But I think baking it into the OS makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
And makes adoption a lot easier. And honestly, I think that with Oculus's announcement of finally shipping, that they made at CES, I think, and with this report, and I imagine, the timelines are similar for a reason. We're gearing up, for similar to how we've seen iOS versus Android. We're going to see basically Oculus versus whatever Google VR is. I think that's what we're, getting ready for.
And Zuckerberg has already talked plenty of times about how he envisions Facebook to actually work inside of VR.
It's not just games.
It's not just games. They're thinking of it as a platform.
Yeah, can you imagine just like that's the way we're going to have to use interfaces someday?
That's the way that we could. That's what I wonder if it's an option. You know what I mean?
They're really trying to go after that.
But that's the dream, though. I mean, like I was just on my other podcast on iFanboy. We were talking about Neil Stephenson novels, and we were talking about and we were talking about Snow Crash, and like that's what we want.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Do we want that? I don't think we want.
Yeah, we want exactly. What
I
you're
hate
doing,
this picture. Swipe.
I know.
Tinder in the air. Nope.
Yeah.
The thing that worries me about this, about the whole Gear VR idea where you slot your phone into a headset, is that your phone is not necessarily a great VR content pusher. Like your phone is not a gaming console, and that's basically what you need for a virtual reality thing. Like you are doing hardcore 3D processing all the time, and you're constantly measuring where your head is. There's been reports that have talked about Google going to chip vendors and saying, here is our custom chip design for virtual reality and augmented reality devices. And that'll have a focus on like 3D processing and all of that spatial stuff that you have to do, where on a smartphone, when you're mostly running Gmail and a web browser, you have this kind of power focus for 2D applications and good battery life with a GPU that's good enough, but not like this huge thing where you want to game on it all the time. And I don't know if your phone would be a good VR device. I don't know if a phone built for VR would be a good phone. And I mean, when you try a Samsung Galaxy whatever in a Gear VR, after a few minutes, it will sometimes say, the phone is too hot.
Yes.
You need to stop now.